Welcome to Game 3 of Ping versus GSC. First two games both ended in a 3-0 9-minute victory for Ping, so we will see if GSC can turn it around. Third time's a charm. At the moment, I don't know why they did that. I have no idea. Ping had about half of their teams jumping into the wall next to the ramp side gate of their base, and then they all ran down tunnel off the start of the game. Dude's secret in-base strat of Ping? I don't know. We shall never know. Rogues are stealthing into mid. Muskie stealthing wide. Rapido hasn't been caught yet. Save is just patrolling mid. He might open. Not sure. Showing Rogues just almost walked on top of each other. No one found, and there goes the ambush on the shot or on the boomkin, and it does go down. But they did lose their own boomkin as well, so it's an interesting trade-off. They do get the hunter to go down, but almost get the BM as well as far as picks. Hamgod is solo on D right now. Tantalize is still in mid. Right now, GSC seems to have the upper hand. Mid fight's pushed just a little over the halfway line, but they do have that hunter kill, which should ensure that Rapido gets out clean with the flag. But he'll be sitting here. Oh, trinketed. Still not. Didn't get the bear form. And so, yeah. There's the War Stomp Displacer. Rejuve himself and run. He did get a dot on Hamgod. There's the AGM stealth by Hamgod. Grizzle's coming up tunnel, but Grizzle does go down. Muskie with the pick, uncontested, as save, and both Gonza and Kendra are still in mid. So at the moment, the GSC is playing with both hunters in midfield. Um, mhm. Hamgod's stealthing toward Rapido and trailing Kendra. Doesn't get caught out. Save is stealthing up ramp. Muskie's just sitting roof. So he said trying to buy his team some time, and against a double healing team, that's honestly not that bad of an idea, as they're now losing mid presence. Priest went down, BM went down, Arcane Mage went down, Marks Hunter went down, so they're now missing 3 DPS and a healer versus the full strength Ping in mid, and Muskie should just be able to drop out ramp into his team. Save is stealthing along behind him, but he's not going to be able to do much. Muskie is sapped, but wow, he gets the sap out of Bear, but it was DR'd. Not going to do much there. Muskie's with his team. Meanwhile, Rapido is sapped in Bear form by Hamgod, but they are just sitting there with a healer, hunter, rogue as well, so there's not much Hamgod can do. Uh, right now, Ping just has GSC in their GY. 3 stacks, 30% damage. Hamgod does get caught out by Fancy, and Fancy does land the kill. There goes Hamgod. Mage goes down. The GY farm Priest goes down. Warrior goes down. BM goes down, so you're just not being able to stabilize at the moment. Rapido's sitting above GY. Does have Hunter coming up for him, though. Hunter's coming up tunnel. And he's disengaging. And there is the charge, as you were saying. So Randy does charge up. He's being healed. Hunter's coming behind. Hamgod. That is true. It's a very good point you make there. Hamgod is stealthing across mid, so he's not going to be able to do much. Hunter is falling back a little, so they seem to have repelled that attack, but at the same time, they're down. Rogue, Shaman, BM, or Boomkin. And they're just trying to stabilize at this point with their 2 healers caught in a GY res. And he is playing those lines with those ranged DPS sitting in GUI, so that is another useful effect, I guess I should say, of the Alliance GUI walls, or of the GUI walls in general. Hunter tried disengaging around, he didn't make it. Meanwhile, Grizzle's coming back into GUI. Hamgod has stealthed up behind Rapido. He does have Berserker. There is a 6 stack. We might see an opener here. Seems to have gotten past Kendra. And there's the ambush. 2% health. Dead. Save with the pick. 70% increased damage taken. He's just doing everything he can to line, and he does get the pass back to his healer there. So nice play there by Save. Yeah, they did get Randy. Yep, they do get the kill. Warriors down. Arda may go down here. Torrents go out. He does go down. Hunter's taking a lot of damage. He's going to go down here. Yep, there's another one. So right now, Ping in a full-fledged retreat here, falling back on their 8-stack FC. Meanwhile, Hunter also dies back there. He's trying to get some damage in on Rapido, but he can't do anything about that. And so now GSC is switching from defense to offense. Hamgod is stealthing toward Rapido. We do have an 8-stack. Save does open, but there's no one else was in on that push. He has been moonfired and flame shocked, so he's going to be in trouble. He's conked. There's the evasion, and he's gonna go down. So that cooldown's used. And in the meantime, GSC has lost their hunter and warrior, and so they will. There's the displacer. Displacer comes out. Hamgod does go down. So slight momentum swing in GSC's favor, but at this point, they seem to be content to fall back behind their FC, who is moving towards Roof in bear form. He has a shaman with him. Meanwhile, the rest of the team's still fighting in mid, and they're solo right now. The Disc Priest is the only healer in mid, as Gob Knobber does take speed boots and go Roof. If they can stabilize with this, could put them in a good spot for an opener on Muskie, who is in the less defensive position of the two Druid FCs. But being down that healer in mid really hurts them. Save stealthing behind Muskie. Does avoid being caught out. Hamgod is stealthing up tunnel. Meanwhile, FC is running straight into Grizzle. That's a survival hunter doing 120% more damage. That's a lot of damage for any healer to heal, no matter who you are, and he does get the kill and the return. Hamgod's stealthing into tunnel. Muskie does go down. Party Girl with the repick, but he's not going to be able to live. And both teams trade FC kills with 7 minutes remaining. At that point, when stacks are that high, 130% damage on both flag carriers. That's a very good point. Yeah, GSC has nothing at this point. They've got 2 hunters up. They do have the 1 Resto Shaman, and Rapido is stealthing. But if the other Druid travel forms, he's definitely going to be beat. They do have Kunz there with the pick on the hunter for FC. He's bringing it out above top of tunnel. Meanwhile, Druid already uses his leap through mid. There's the pass to Muskie. And at this point, Guns just needs to get to his team. Hamgod is stealthing below him. Guns drops. There's the ambush. He has reached his healers though. Hamgod evasions, runs for Berserker, and he'll get a re-stealth. Guns really just needs to get to Rapido and get a pass off. They do have eyes on Hamgod. He's out in mid. No other stealthies are in position too. And there is the pass to Rapido. Ahead with 5 minutes to go. we've got our team split into a mid fight again. Both teams just kind of sitting here. Muskie's going for a res. Sapped. Saves like that's not happening. Trinketed. I'm not sure why he trinketed there because there's absolutely no reason. I guess, but at the same time, you're only at 2 stacks. You've got Displacer. I would not have trinketed that, but hey, I'm Neep. I don't play Druid FC for premates, so you never know. I still wouldn't have trinketed that, but whatever. Yeah, they do. They are. They only have one healer. They have Party Girl is solo healing this GUI at the moment. Waiting on reses from Small and Art. Party Girl's taking a lot of damage. Muskie sapped. By save, so he's not going anywhere for a good 10 seconds or so. Meanwhile, Hamgod has a sap on Gobnobber, just getting that counter pressure there. There's an opener on Rapido. He's taking a bit of damage. War Stomps Hamgod. They do get the kill on the Boomkin that opened as well. And so that trade was definitely in the favor of GSC. Sap on the Warrior. That's a big DPS. It's down for the count for 10 seconds or so for ping. So between Kendra and that's not really 1v1 though. Cause, or were you looking at guns and someone else? Uh, oh, so Grizzle killed guns and then Fancy came in to mop up the Grizzle. Okay, that makes sense. I was a little so slow on that switch, but teams are just mid fighting. We are at 5 stacks, about to hit that 6 stack, so look for an opener on either FC from the Rogue Hunters. Hamgod is caught. There's the evasion. He's trying to get back to his team. He's taking a lot of damage. There's the priest bubble. Still damage is being slammed into him, but looks like he'll live. Yes, he will. Meantime, Warrior's almost going down. Marb's almost going down. Just a lot of damage being put out here by Ping, and the 2 healers from GSC have so far been able to keep a relative decent grip on this mid fight in this game. Better than they have the last game, but then again, another major difference is GSC has actually been able to land kills this game, which just one thing that they have not been able to do in the previous 2 games. Yep, I do see that. He is opened by Kendra though. Just gonna go in for the aim shot. Nope, he's down. There's the opener. Rooted. Hamgod's rooted in his tracks. Rerouted. Doing anything he can to stay on Rapido. 80% increased damage, and he's not gonna be able to do it. He goes down. 2 minutes left in this game. Will either team push for a kill? Obviously, both teams want to win this game. I don't think either one wants to sit with a tie, but the question is who's actually going to be able to land the kill and the cap. Both teams just taking so much damage. 90% increased damage on both flag carriers. Got to check on the rogues. Hamgod stealthing out of GY. Save is trying to get a re-stealth. But he goes down. Pito's just sitting in the back of his healers. Muskie is sapped full by Barcody. If they could push on him here, he's not in a great spot. He does have Verform, but he's kind of out in the open with no real anywhere to displace her to. See, Hunter does go down. There's the sap. There's the Star Surge. Star Surge, ambush, war stomp, and he's dead. And picked up by Grizzle. Flamer's going for a Star Surge, 110% increased damage, and he goes down. Returned by save. Meanwhile, Rapido is in trouble, and he was killed by Boomkin Druid, or Boomkin Rogue. So, 30 seconds left in the game. Still 0-0. We had 2 10-plus stack FC kills. FC trades, I should say. Both FCs died. But that was a pretty good game, much better than the previous two games that we've seen. Hamgod with the pick, but that's all she wrote. Game over, 0-0. Um, just looking at charts that game. Just looking at kills. I feel like having that second hunter helped Alliance a lot. Just having that extra DPS, more conks, just didn't do much damage, but it did allow them to play double hunter and run one of them back on defense occasionally, which was helping them to keep tabs on the enemy FC. It was a pretty good game though.